Let's get going right now. Thank you. Hold on one second. Ooh. One moment. Let me know how that audio is. I think I got a big echo. Let me see it. A little shout out in the chat, please. That should do it. Much better. Thank you. I had that in my ears. Okay, here's a quick risk disclaimer, especially with a day like today. This is the Harmonic Pattern Podcast for January 6th, Thursday. Hope everyone's doing well. Let's get right to it. Of course, Bitcoin. Let me boost my own levels. I think, yep. Thank you. Let's get to it. Much better now. So, we hit 44. We're 42.8. Right? What's going on? Here's the BTC futures chart. Just got a whole lot more interesting, but not in a way that I want. We have a bat pattern. We hit target 2 off the butterfly. I would want to see confirmation in any of this. We hit amplified as oversold. Green line going off. Some kind of RSI BAM, amplified RSI BAM divergence. But at what price? This is not triggered, folks. HSI still needs to come down. So that means this whole price range, folks, as I said, is at stake, and really under 46, it's going to take more time, and that's what we're seeing. Where you're seeing something where, great, you have a bat pattern, you're now target 2 with the worst price action you could see. And I really do think that, for me, it wasn't really 43. For me, it was 53. And so I think the best thing to do is just tell me where the patterns are. And this is pointing lower with this breakdown, even with the bat pattern here. No confirmation, amplified, expanding. It's a problem. It's a big problem. So what's the right price? What is the price that is considered enough of a discount, or do you need to just kind of step aside? Yeah, I'm sorry. I've got that. Thank you for telling me that. I still don't have the whole thing. Got a few things going on currently that it just is extraneous life things that have to be dealt with. Unfortunately, I have not been able to get set up fully. Hopefully your HSI is viewable now. So let's be mindful of what's going on. The minimum levels, the things that we have talked about, possibilities, C point getting violated here. If that is a butterfly, then your whole scenario, that's the top. I mean, that's it for a long time with mandatory type 2 hop retest on the butterfly. Deep crab. Looping deep crab at 22,542. Say it with me. 22,542 is the hop. Harmonic optimal price for that retest. It's really not what you want to see. Shark 886, everything that you want. What's up? Why is everybody, what are you guys pinging me? Thank you. Appreciate it. Yesterday, Nasdaq got really clipped. Yeah, sure. Why not? And so you're coming out of the environment. You're coming way out of the favorable environment that you had, and then the hope of what we were looking at, C point, whatever. No. It's definitely something where when these shorter term time frames fail, and it could be an hourly, could be a 4-hour. This is daily. You kick it back to the higher time frame. So if whatever your setup is failing, and we'll get to Ethereum in a second, king of fail, it's going to require more time until you have confirmation or another full signal. And we go to the daily here, our weekly, you're still trending lower on at least your minimum amplified. I think, look, even the futures here, look, you got a big gap on the futures back at the swing 886 from last summer, 32, whatever. There's nothing here, folks. Nothing here. Maybe a 618B point, but there's nothing there. I mean, I'm sorry. It just is not price action wise, everything you want to look at. You need to do more work. You need more time, and that's lower. It's lower. It's lower. There's nothing I can sink my teeth into for Bitcoin, at least. You've got this bat pattern right here, but you just hit terminal bar yesterday. There it is. Let's blow it up. Today is terminal bar plus 1. 886 is at 43,422. Thank you for letting me know about the book. If you didn't get your book, please give it another week. all kinds of delays. I mean, even in the United States, like things taking 2 weeks in the United States. So give it a little more time, but appreciate it. What state were you in, or what location were you in? Let me know. And if you can send me a note, that'd be great. So here we are with a bat, type 2 butterfly, no confirmation. This thing, I said this last week, or maybe it was Monday, that there could be just a big candle down, like down into there, and it'd be super ugly. Great that we have a bat pattern here at the 886 for Bitcoin. But boy, there's nothing. There's no HSI here coming out of the zone just yet. Yeah, anybody that had a book, it was probably sent already. So, like I said, just you got to be patient, especially if you're overseas. Thank you. Yeah, I think the harmonic optimal price level is a minimum target for this bat if we don't stabilize. And that's again, we're day over day now. You're day over day, and it's your CD leg, your downtrend off the CD leg and into the zone is a ways away from any kind of breakout. So, your drawdown city. How many times have we seen these larger patterns get retested, folks? That's kind of what we were alluding to when we were talking about potential issues under 46,000. I think it was really under 56,000. We should have done that return off of, look, if this was going to be really sweet, it should have been a return off of there. Back to there. And we just straight on through. So, and no confirmation yet. That's why I'm concerned. We could have a big candle coming, and that's not where you want it. And then break it back to longer term time frame. Again, you go to the hop level all the way back down there. That's a minimum target. Now look at that massive breakout gap going all the way back a year ago, 23,968. Do I expect a full 886 retracement on the weekly? If we did, that would be it. I just don't like where it is now. My concerns and larger issues loom. Let's look at Ethereum, because I'm more concerned about Ethereum than Bitcoin, quite frankly. I think Ethereum is showing you what's possible of how dramatic you can fail. Now we'll hopefully get some bounce retest, but look, this thing has dragged and dragged. We gave it so many opportunities, 37, 50. And this is what we were saying, it was losing mojo with, the only possibility was like an ABCD off the top. Looks like this, which would have been tight consolidation kind of action and then go, but nope, you failed. You failed, and I want to show everyone something that on the monthly is absolutely you want to pay attention to. Let me get a different data feed on. It really doesn't matter because they're all happening here. You have a complex structure that has now completed on the monthly. What does that mean? It's an M formation. There it is on Bitrex. Trading Coinbase has got it. They're all breaking down. So what does that mean? Well, until you can alleviate that condition at a minimum 50 level on amplified, your trend is intact. You just keep going. I'm going to show you all the various monthly feeds here. And that also makes this top at 68 at 113. Failed 113. So we see it on the futures. Oh, here's the other thing. I can't believe I missed this, but I'm going to be completely transparent here. I missed this, and I should have been looking at this Grayscale Bitcoin Trust thing. Look at what Harmonic Pattern Collection has generated here. All time. This is the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. Let me bring this back in here. I don't have it selected. Here you go. I know it. Here's the ABCD. Go on the weekly. So this one caught my eye. I was just kind of pounding my head of, I missed something. I knew I missed something up here, but missed it bigger. I think there's still plenty of time. And I really want to be kind of clear about that. This is an 886113. This is one of those devastating 886113s that I mentioned that has done a type 1 and a type 2. It's an all-time for the GBTC weekly. So where would that go? Oh, type 1 came up, hit target 1 there, come back. There's really type 2. Why? Confirmation. Now we do have an HSI that's trying to check back, but nothing really. You fail this, you go under 30, 38, or really try to fill these gaps at 27. Forget it. You're just going to come all the way back with a longer term target here, target 2, 19 and change. And if we get really crazy, so let's look at this on the TradingView platform. So this is the question. Will we get an, if this is it, do we get the 886 all time? Again, this is where looking at these other vehicles helps. It definitely does. I'll show you the last 2 cycles. Boink. Come back. 886. I mean, right on the dot, right? That's GBTC monthly. Let's take the next swing. Okay, and that was pretty much the mini bull, right? 886 again. Do we see a pattern, anyone? Did I miss it? Yes, I did. That's something I should not miss. It should. I talk about looking at these tertiary markets and stuff. But it's definitely there. So what would we see in that scenario if it's another cycle? 886, folks. It's like there. 886 is BTC. 1050. Sounds crazy, right? I think that's really what's at stake. It's what's at stake, because whatever's going on, you see that, you have seen that on the top side, and now let's do the BAM, because it's not going to take much to BAM this. BAM, what's that? Bad action magnet move. You break your B point, and then you give us some kind of beautiful Gartley. Yeah, that would be a Gartley at the 786, quite frankly, because your B point's such a nice 618. It truly is. But a little overspill, $10. The 786, that would be where we'd look for at 16. Basically 16. If that's a Gartley, which it could be. So that's part of the beautifulness of the framework, where the M&W formations, once they lock into a CD leg, look out. And there's at certain points where it just locks. I was concerned about this back in September. Back in July, and we got some signals that saved it. It didn't violate This is really violating. Now, I want to show some other harmonic action that is absolutely, you want to pay attention to this. Luna, folks, it was great, but we've been on top of this. Okay, right? Back-to-back patterns. This one, we knew it was super strong. We started talking about this up in the zone around 85, 86. But the hop and how we would look for that back to target 1 still was the play, and you almost hit there. This would be good for the whole market to pay attention to what it does at 71.79 on Luna. It got as low as 72.41. Got real close. We do have an HSI. I suspect this will check back, hit target 1, and then you maybe bounce off of there. But you sure want to see that for the whole market. Otherwise, you're going to come back and retest some of these bullish patterns at lower prices and still be hundreds of percent up for the last few months. And we see that across the board. Here's one of the ones that I said, just look, this is a spike. This farm. And again, any of these that are going to do this stuff, just be mindful when it goes like that and you get past the 382. In this instance, 886 is at 104. We knew that by about 180. That's the way to be thinking. Ethereum, you have to go to the monthly. What is this? Up here at the monthly, a lot of reversal behavior, larger than you want to see. No follow through on the breakout, which nasty. I mean, just nasty. So the whole minimum 382, let's get some perspective. You know, go back just a year ago. You're still up 1,000%. What can that do? Well, just 382 all time. It puts you at 3,000, folks. That's minimum. 50% retracements, 2,500 with a larger 618. Again, around 2,000. That's the kind of thing you're looking at. A close under this level, which is 3,500, is done. You know, that's monthly. And I think it already is because of that damage of what you see on the weekly. It's the fact that you did not follow through and you're breaking down at a point where you trigger things. I mean, you're triggering if you connect dots, okay? And that's the easiest way that I say, where you learn the pattern alignments. You know, we looked at a couple of things here. We were looking at like a shark, saying call that a shark on Ethereum up to the 113. The larger could not break out, and so then what? Well, does the shark come to a 5.0? Yeah, typically. And your 50% minimum is around 3,150, 3,100. Again, when your smaller time frames fail, our hourlies, 4 hours did fail, you go up higher, longer term time frame. Not to mention, we've bammed this bad action magnet move. If we draw the last possible M formation, X to A, this now big thrust, that's your midpoint. That's the center point there. That's at a 618, a little bit past, but we would feature that 786, maybe 886 swing. You're looking to tag 3,000, which is still another 15% lower. These are minimums. That's why it's not good. It's not good for the trend. It's going to take more time. If we go back to the weekly, try to stretch that out in a friendly slope, you still can't fudge it. I mean, a lot of people say, oh, well, you can change the magnification, Scott, and then that way your slope can seem less severe. That's fine. It's just the simple case of the fact that anybody can draw a trend line, except for me at the moment. But anyone can draw a trend line and say, okay, those lows are all encompassed Going back 12 months, that's 3,100. That's tough. It's tough. Couple questions. Yeah, couple people saying a little bit lower. Sure, it is just absolutely something. Yeah, when we get things like this Greystone ABCD with the way that it did type 1, type 2, it is gnarly, was the comment, and it's an all-time construction. So basically utilizing practically all-time highs and lows. I think it is. Also, there's some built-in time symmetry here that is reason why it is. Not to mention your C point's almost a perfect 886 off that last swing. That's where it triggers. So if that's just going to do its thing, okay. And the other thing that I wanted to show from this, again, was that larger ABCD. Larger Gartley. Like if this is it, we're rolling over. For this to be something I would consider again, it's all the way back here. And that this is a BC leg. The other part about this is that we want to use the central limit theorem, which is a 30 bar minimum. Okay? The other thing to consider, it's a real standard, it's a simple mathematical rule about population studies needing a 30 bar sample size to have something that would fit within a acceptable amount for a bell-shaped distribution curve, which is essentially that's all this is. Okay, and so if we're 30 months, go there, and let's look at where are we? Where's 30? 30 months puts you in September, folks. That's the kind of thing we're looking at. You go back, COVID low, 30 months. Talk to me in September. That's a long year, right? And it could happen where you break down your B point pretty quickly, or 886, and then that's it. And then you grind it down, and that will be vicious. So don't forget, look, we're breaking down at such a critical level here that again, you're already oversold quite a bit. You could have little reactive bounces, but until something else shapes up, okay, I wouldn't look for anything much more than that. And there could be like a strong, quick reactive bounce, like Grayscale could do a 20% move and then tank again. Let's look at really quick the total index market caps. Here is without crypto total market cap on the 4-hour, without Bitcoin and Ethereum. Beautiful Gartley just got rejected. If we get any kind of rally, we're already down at target 2. The good thing here is you're at target 1, target 2 with HSI. So severely oversold. But what this sets up for is you come back for another retest and then a tank. You're not going to make much progress after this kind of a thing. Here's the total crypto, everything. Psh. Nice crab. Look at that crab. Just got killed. No type 2. Also, that's something to note. You never got a type 2 on that crab. And boy, when that happens, again, when you just keep sailing through, well, you have to step back until something larger develops. You could get a counter trend rally again, but until something bullish pattern or something develops, you need time. You need a lot of time. Here's without Bitcoin, same thing. You're sitting here much like you were on individually with Ethereum a couple weeks ago, retesting a bat pattern off the top. And that's total crypto market cap. I wonder if that's just because they keep adding crap coins. And so projects still getting money. And here's without. Okay, so some clear pattern structures. That's DeFi, and that's the kind of thing where even on something like this, if we look and see total DeFi market cap start to slip under 146, 144, something like that, something larger is happening. We will look at these and we'll stay on top of that with crypto. It's amazing, right? Harmonics are BS. Then why are you here? Like, really, why are you here? I mean, I'll kick you out, but if harmonics are BS, then why would you even waste your time being here and then putting up a troll comment because you got nothing else to do? So here's what we do. We just remove you. Yeah, that's funny, though. Kieran, again, if you're so smart and you're so wealthy, why are you here? Why are you online? Everyone's here is to learn. And your kind of comment is, pretty asinine in light of the fact of what we've done in the last year. So, see you. Have a nice one. At least we know who you are. You've got, I'll give you this. Kieran Wiltshire. If that's your real name, I'll give you the credit for having the guts to at least put your real name up there to an inane comment. So thank you. Yeah, thank you very much. So we know that I like when people do that because, look, let people express their opinions no matter what. Then you know what they're saying. Too much. Go ahead, bring it. Bring all of your questions and criticisms. You can say harmonics are bullshit, but what's bullshit about it? Go read the books. Okay, go look at the framework. Go look at what we've done. And then tell me exactly what's bullshit about the methodology. It's funny because it's like that mentality itself is such a loser mentality, okay, that you'll never make it. Like, you'll never make it at anything you want to do. Period. So, it's cool, There's a lot of trolls and a lot of people that can't think for themselves, and then they just kind of vent. It's like a dopamine rush because they can make a comment and they think they're ballsy behind their computer, and so they get off on it. So everyone that's here knows it. It just is, I welcome all the criticism in the world. You should put every methodology you ever study, throw it against the wall, look at it upside down, figure out the stuff that works. Some things might, some methodologies just might not jive. But I think what we're seeing now and what we've done here is a level of framework where we can understand what's happening in the market. So, again, I welcome it. Yeah, that's fine. It doesn't matter. You guys, everyone else is cool here. That's why I do what I do, the way I do it. So if you're new, do go over to harmonictrader.com and register. I think we got it figured out, but Miss Stephanie, I owe you a phone call. I know it. Sorry. It's other things going on. I had a visitor come to town, and it was somebody that you all hear about in the news, unfortunately. So let's go jump back over to this main platform. Let's look at the markets. Let's look at Nasdaq. It was down 500 yesterday. And here's what's going on. Just really quick, what could be behind Nasdaq not able to get through? It's the last HSI signal. So definite pause here. I mentioned this in our last session that we just setting up to roll down to the 886 swing, which we did. Oops, sorry. There you go. 886 swing off of just the December low. I mean, how crazy is that? Seemed like end of the world, right? And we're right back to where we were December 21st. And let me show you the exact number. I'm pretty sure it's 15.6. And look at it like that. There you go. Amazing, right? 15.633. And we're going to bounce. So at least for now, folks, you're finding that support. Take a look at just what is this, 2 weeks of action. That's it. Let me bring that back up. Let me see what's going on over there. Okay. Here's the other thing. Amplified RSI has just popped out of the zone. So, and we did a complex formation here. Again, all of the conditions where we start to put it together of, all right, that's an extreme oversold condition. We're at the target 886. We talked about this as the target on Tuesday. So, I mean, harmonics work in so many ways. If you recognize where you are within the MW framework, which we were here breaking down. Now we came to here. 886 perfectly. What's the next step? What do we expect off of there? We have confirmation. We'll look for a 382 bounce, which, that puts you roughly back to 16,000 as we stair step lower. There you go. A little bit better on the 5-minute. Why HSI popped up for us. So just think of all of this. We're in really choppy market conditions, and everything's a reaction. Look at this 4-hour chart. This is going to blow your mind. And we scrunch it up and we just look at the last couple of weeks. How many times have we been banging between basically 16.5 and 15.6? It's our third time. So larger consolidation. Can we go below here? Of course. All right. And the worst case scenario is, as I said before, if we get really bad, okay, and break down in sharp fashion. I don't think we will just yet. But, come down to this big 886. If you're looking for levels, looking for, possibilities, okay, coming back, retest the 886 after we break down at this B point would be a bat. That would give you a bat pattern. That would give you an 886 retest of the October low, and still be in an uptrend. Let's look at what those markings look like on the daily chart. All right, amazing. Look at all those bearish patterns. This is also something else to consider. All of those bearish patterns yielded some type of reaction, nominal. But yeah, and the other interesting thing is they all played a part eventually in some type of retest of our continuation. So, I will look at these possibilities no matter what. I know a lot of people are calling for doom, gloom, and death and despair. I'm a little more optimistic in life, but I will certainly address larger possibilities. And for me, you're clearly scrunched in this range. We talked about hitting this 886 at 15.6. There's nothing but air underneath here. So you fall apart here. You basically just look at the October low. That's going back 3 months. This is daily. And HSI is breaking down, amplified breaking down. Market's going sideways. So, okay. That would be not surprising. Really quick, I want to look at the Dow first. because I think this is interesting spot. Check out what we have generated just recently. There's another ABCD. Really, this is a type 2, but it's getting spit out on the futures, basically 36,400. Looks like resistance on a retest. Just off the generated ABCD. So 1,000-point pullback to 35,000, not a big one. That really not a big one. I mean, again, mass hysteria for a 2% pullback with likely logical objectives down here at 35,000. Why not? That's not really just, a lot of things are not linking up. It's like, it seems like every little gyration is the end of the world. Look at that on a weekly. We haven't broken a prior week's low. We haven't broken anything. So look for anything here in this environment to be reactive. That's the point. If it's going to be down, it's a sharp down. It doesn't last for long. And so you look for opportunities on 60-minute, 4-hour time frame. Even if Nasdaq could sell off, or this could all come down and give us an opportunity. Look at the here on the hourly. The Dow futures got a really nice shark. Start looking in this area. Maybe you get down to the 36 level. But you're starting to get formations. You're starting to get some patterns off the top. You haven't really violated on these other markets. Look at S&P. This is something where S&P is a little bit more progressed like Nasdaq. But go to daily. There you go. We have an ABCD that was generated. So minimum pause, right? These ABCDs that the software spits out been giving us at least some speed bumps. This isn't far off the all-time highs, and even a target 1 pullback of 4,500 would be mild. Probably welcomed even if you could get it. Otherwise, go to the weekly time frame. Yeah, now I got to keep my eye on everything. There's weekly S&P, folks. You would need to do some time here. Look at actually the other thing I wanted to point out. Even if we go into a pause, sideways grind here, at least on amplified RSI, what you have triggered right here is a complex structure. Come down to the minimum 50 level. Okay. There's not anything screaming here on any of this. The only thing I see on S&P 500 is something like this. Is a type 2. Let's look at the SPY. Okay. Go to the daily. Beautiful shark on the 4-hour. That's down at 451. That would be a great retest and go. What is it? Weekly? It's weekly or monthly? We have a... Oh, I see what the problem is. I don't have all of my regular large. I'm missing a pattern. And I'm showing you my TradingView scripts. I only have 2 of the 3 that I need. I have M&W regular and large. I need small. And I need another ABCD. And so why is that important? Because of the way this picks up on all of the structures and the way that we generate it. Here it is. So it was on a daily. S&P. It's up on a type 2, folks. S&P 500 is a bearish crab at the moment. But no confirmation. So again, anything we see off of here is reactive. It looks like this. Right there, perfect type 1. Now this did a couple of tests. We actually retested that XA and got rejected down to target 1 again. So all of these are just reactions. Even if you just, like, let's use that first reaction as an approximation. Okay, we saw an almost identical equivalent reciprocal movement, meaning this is like a reciprocal ABCD, A to B, and then C to D, where they equal each other. And maybe do another one there, where even in some reactions, 460, but we don't have anything. If anything, look at your HSI. It could have triggered. It did not. That would have been really nice. And where maybe we come down a little bit lower and actually get a bullish register with target 1 at 458, your maximum support. You're really just retesting, in the best of cases, an 886 off the December 21st low. In your worst of cases, you maybe go back to October. But look at how many times we've done some pattern pauses and then we go off of these kind of formations. That last ABCD, look, couple of crab patterns. Although that was a lot stronger back in 2021, even as strong as that market was, you still paused for at least 30 bars. I think that's where you are here. So let's again do the 30 bar thing. Got a question of how to use that. TradingView has this ruler over here on the left menu. I don't know if you can see it. So you click on that, and I would start from the most recent high. And then just take it 30 bars out. And that gives you your window. Between now and the 16th of February, that is. That's a daily. Much like here. Check out, here's a type 1, that last ABCD. Right here. And that reaction's usually, look, type 1 reaction down to target 1. Straight back. All right, there's the peak. Tell me what happens. There's 30 bars. All right, pull it out. 30 bars is right there. Reaction was over within 30 bars. That's a great way to look at these. Couple of more. A lot going on, really. Thanks. Appreciate it. Is the reason bear pattern's not hitting target 2 because bear pattern's an uptrend less reliable? Absolutely. We also look for expect reaction. And that tells us a lot of what's going on, because if you get a quick reaction and even you hit target 1 and you get a bullish signal like that did, or you get terminal bar and then you come down and you don't spend much more time there. You know, this completed, how many bars? 2, 3, 4, 5 bars. You hit the thing and you stabilize and you go back. That's the complete opposite to what Bitcoin's doing. Bitcoin, this massive, beautiful daily pattern. All right, look at the differences. If it was really strong, go back here. If Bitcoin was strong, we would have came off target 1 and we would have retested the whole zone. This factor taking a lot more time. All right, you have at least you're generating a pattern. I'm going to say that. That's, even though as ugly as that is, you are generating a bat pattern. But you don't have any HSI here, and your indicators are in the wrong position where they are still going to take more time. And that's what I kept saying on Tuesday, that under there is just, it's more time and you could bounce up and then roll back down again. But all of that has to go through a whole lot of process. I would think you're talking a month here before that would even be ready to be considered again. And in that month, it is well below 43 or 42. It's probably closer to that hop, minimum 35,958. Just not what you want to see, especially coming off of what you finished. You know, look, this is really quick. I don't know if people remember this, but from what I want to show, I showed this maybe 2 weeks ago. We did have one of these looping deep crab patterns before, and that was back in 2020. All right, and we had back-to-back. These back-to-back patterns also have been really substantial opportunities as well. So I'm going to keep an eye on that current bullish bet. But look, we spent some time consolidating December, January, that's 2020. Did a nice thrust up to target 2. And I think people were looking for the break for that thing to bust. COVID hits and you get the crash. And this becomes more of like that looping type 2 where you're up here at 9,500 with coming off a bearish pattern and you just fly, sink right through target 1, target 2. There's nothing here. The only other thing you could do is go to the hop at 5,500. It goes to 4,400. That was the low. But it had to go through that 1-2 process to complete the whole devastation. That's where I think we are now. I think we're there. I think we're... Think about it. We have a deep crab. You had a deep crab in 2005. You had this extended type 1 behavior. Consolidated. Then it rushed up. Went to target 2 and then a little bit more with another bearish pattern. Now this is in a blue scheme because it's still potential. That hasn't officially been recognized as a completed pattern. So let me take away the potential pattern for a moment. Let's look at completions. Pending. That's pending. That's not potential. It's pending because it's in the zone. But let's just take it back to back. Let's look at what we have. So we had in 2020, we had a bullish crab, deep crab. Then we had a shark. In this case, we have a butterfly. How are we coming off that bearish pattern? In ugly fashion. What is left? Once you... No confirmation through target 1, target 2. For me, what is left is the hop. It's a full retest of the crab. Sorry, not butterfly, crab. With the likelihood of doing a looping, kind of come on down here, 22,542. Just based on the patterns, and that's what I'm going to do. It's important. That's why 46 was such a problem. 56 is a problem. 53 failure is a problem. Don't know. You got to call it. Here's Solana. All right. Also, we've had a bunch of these HSI readings recently that were triggering. Something I'm looking at on stuff like Solana and Luna, the fact we are oversold. These need to pivot now. If they continue lower, what's going to happen? And it's already happening. You're going to get another HSI signal that's lower than the last one. So here, okay, is lower than here. Something to take note of. All right, that's really not... You'd rather see building HSIs, higher HSI signals. But when this rolls over, and then much the same way where you had a pivot peak there with a bearish signal, and then you have a secondary lower HSI taking you lower again. A lot of time would be required to resolve that downtrend condition. Could it bounce here? Yeah. Yeah, I definitely think it could bounce, but anything's going to be reaction. There's hourly. Look, even the just not crab pattern, deep crab off the top at 162 and just goes sideways. Or even, this is the other thing we've seen. And again, take note. We could count 30 bars twice here and still not have anything. Go 30 bars here. Right there. What's it doing? Not much. There's a secondary right here. 30 bars is like That's 72 bars. Again, 30 bars like there. What's it doing? Reacts, rolls over. You're in trouble. React, roll over, react, roll over. That's probably until you, again, you go in default to the larger time frame. Is there anything here? No. Is this an M shape? Yes, but guess what? Connecting dots on Solana 4 hour. You go X to A. Where's the B point? Super deep at a 65, 66%. Okay, not what you want to see. That more leads to 1618 behavior, folks. That B point is such an identifier. It's probably one of the best things. Like if you can pinpoint M formation, admit to yourself that's a 66%. I'm tagging a 1618 down at 115, 113 for the 1618. And I wouldn't even consider it until it does so. It's just how it is. It's how we trace it out. It's applying the framework and then responding to the framework. Am I going to buy it here? No. Solana and Luna, as I said earlier, definitely not ready yet. And Luna was a great one to wrap up on. Why? Because Luna, we talked about this. I even tweeted about it. So here it was. Here's the series of tweets, folks. Right here. And we had one even earlier than that. Oh, here it was. Back on the 22nd. Remember this? This is the 22nd. So we're at the hop at 95, and we know it might go higher, but we need to go through type 1 reaction, and it did. It is now. That's depending on your, we might have been there. Depending on your data feed, that's Binance is 72.20. It got really close. But again, that's the area to be looking rather than up here. Really critical. A couple of others that I do want to show. The Ethereum thing is toast. There's the Ethereum. Retested. Normally I would wait, but there's no HSI confirmation. And this is absolutely, the fact that you had no confirmation and then you take out that low dramatically under 3,600 failed for sure. What do? You stand back and wait for that longer term time frame to resolve itself. We had several reactions. There's that 30 bar Bitcoin chart, and it's failed. What did it do? That's the 4th. 2 days ago, we're below the hop. We're well below the hop. So you just stand back. You had 2 major patterns fail at 46,000 is a major problem. It really is. Final point. Like we need a final point. Where was the other thing? Yeah, this is the other thing about the stuff like this total DeFi market cap, which this too, like the others, I think is a good one to look at where, okay, what's the trend going to do? Couple of lower highs already, but you're doing this kind of thing on the daily, folks. You have X, A to B, and then go to the 886. Minimum stuff across all of these are probably tell you where we're headed, where we have more work to do on the downside than anything else. I just, you need more time. I keep saying that. How about Cosmos? I know I'd tell you right now, Cosmos ran right into all-time highs and then just couldn't finish through. Couldn't continue. Right here. Okay, this is Cosmos. Tried to make it. I know this looks like it's going to go to the moon, but $43 is your 886. Look at this. Someone's asking about Cosmos. It looks like this. If we can trace it out, there you go. There's your B point at a 50. 886 exactly. I mean, come on. The 886 is clipping so many pivot points, folks. And that's not even exactly dead on. That's 886. And you can't, if you can't continue past your 886, forget it. So I don't, it could be the next thing, whatever. But for now, the first individual terminal bar plus 1, 2, 3 action shows you it's done. And you got confirmation on HSI. Just look, the arrow just is generating on this daily Binance bar. And whatever that peak is, that's your new resistance. That's 40.20. Is it on Coin? There's Coinbase. Coinbase doing the same thing. And Coinbase again, you're running into 886s. Did that break the high? It was a perfect. I tell you, it's a rare instance when that happens, but when you have exact double tops like that, run. I mean, run. It just is a simple support resistance supply demand assessment of the lows are here. The highs are up here. 2250, your 886, basically 43. I'm gonna say come on back down, and come on back down for, here's the other thing we talked about. Minimum 382 is like there, which it did. It came back to the 382 at 35 and bounced. But once you break 35, you can come all the way back to the 886. Don't even bother. Let's go back to just bang inside that range. Sorry. Some of these others, folks, Tron and LRC and REN, that ran and the metaverse, it's just at what price? How many of those insiders are holding on to 10,000% gains that are going to, bail out? LRC was 30 cents, went to 350. How much do you have to sit in there? Like if you're an insider and you get the dream move, and I've said this time and time again, there's 382 right there. 382. You bounced, you couldn't go to new highs. Okay, now you're at 618 almost. I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in that until you go off of there and do something like this and come back to the 886. This is going to get to the point like it was really in 2018, 2019. It was a grind and a grind. And I knew people that were still in the industry. And I just said, when Bitcoin gets to the all-time 886, let me know. That's the buy point. And that's what happened. With these others, it's a dang shame. It just, you're going to have to do, this is the distribution curve. You're going to have to come back and complete the curve. And then you'll begin again. So I just don't, I don't know. I'm biting my tongue for sure, because I really think it's been a bit of little too much hopium. I really thought we would at least have some kind of minimum reaction, Bitcoin, what have you. I mean, what's Michael Saylor thinking right now? Here's Ethereum Classic. Look at that. Nothing there. EOS. Over and over again, I can do this in Ethereum name service, whatever. It's new lows for the move for Coinbase. That's garbage. That's total garbage. That was supposed to be a new internet Web 3, whatever. Here's the thing that's going to happen, folks. Once we get out of here and we get through these times, you're going to look back at all the narratives that were spouted out, and that will be what you'll recognize for the next cycle. Excessive narrative where people are reaching for the positive point, if you will, to affirm their case. If it's adoption stories, if it's influencers, what have you. For us now, this is the time where you put the price analysis and the framework together to absolutely, be alert, protect yourself. Here's Bitcoin at 43,000 right now. There's the prior low. And if we go back to June really quick, you're like here. You're like here. You would need to see this thing absolutely stabilize right here. That's my point, been my point, and even the whole long-term argument is about to get negated. This is the C point that gets violated. It's over, done. Again, if you're looking for numbers for me, I think we're already there where you're starting your larger move to 22 based on this BTC chart. I just think that's makes a lot of sense to complete that. Treat this whole area from 30,000 to 60,000 is one big massive sideways consolidation, which it was. It was the first peak, roughly first support, major support. So all of that is absolutely where you fail here, or you're failing here. There's nothing here until we retest those numbers structurally. So again, not what I really want to say to everyone, but we have to call it as it is. And there's a lot of work that needs to be done before this thing, if you're looking for opportunity to really get into it. And a lot of people are going to hodl, and they're just not going to be. You're going to learn at what price. I think it's like this. When Amazon was at 250 or 300 in the early 2000s, and then it went back to 10 or 15, I forget what it was. Amazon did something ridiculous. Maybe it went back to 50. It still lost half, 3/4 of its value, and that was the leader that came out of that tech crash. A lot of them never made it out. That's the thing you don't want. And in this environment where, what does stock to flow say? It's tough. FTM versus BTC all-time high. I heard that. I mean, anything's gonna. BTC, we looked at that dominance last time. It's terrible. FTM, isn't that the FTT symbol? Yeah. Right? FTM. Let me look. No. Let me pull up FTM. Yeah, that's another one. You're about to run into the 886. I'm not interested. I'm not. This is you're closer to where the maximum limit than you really want to hang around on that. Come on. 320, 315. It's like Luna up at 100. And you already did your move. That's already doubled 2.5. And again, you come back a 382 move, puts you at the low twos. So I'm not looking at that. That's not of interest to me. Down here, maybe, yeah. And this is actually what Bitcoin really should have done. Bitcoin should have come off of that 46, 40. That should be 42,000, 43,000. Bitcoin should have done something like that and went back to the butterfly. It didn't. So bye-bye, funny man, because it's just not really something I want to be a part of. Watching that knife until I see confirmation. Just step aside. So FTM, it's amazing if you are in it at 150 or lower, but again, I'm not hodling, and I've been trading this stuff, getting out of some other things, and maybe that's, just don't do anything else for a while until Bitcoin does major correction. And in terms of time, we're not going back that far. You're going back, in terms of the 10-year history, you're only going back a year. Do I see Harmonics working well with the BTC pair? Sure. Look, the Harmonics work in any market. Look at, go ETH, Bitcoin. All right. Let's go to the 4-hour time frame. Same methodology applies. Same framework. If you want to trade it in Bitcoin, sure. Let me go to the hourly. Probably get more opportunities there. Yeah. Look at the patterns getting generated, folks. This is what I recommend that you do that on. If you're new to the software or you want to try the software, send us the email. Send us your TradingView username. We'll get you set up. But look at all the patterns that are generating. This is Ethereum versus Bitcoin. So the question was, does it work well in the Bitcoin pairs? Sure. Look at all these bearish zones here at 8.1, 8.2, 8.2 cents with confirmation. Rolls right over. And then conversely, bullish patterns down here. Gave you a pause, sideways, ugly action, but reaction. Just reaction. ABCD reaction. Up to target 1. Again, that's the minimum expectation. No matter what pattern you're looking at, here's the crab. So if I'm down here at terminal bar, I'm looking for target 1. Sometimes it's too small to be a valid opportunity, but structurally, I'll pay attention to those small patterns. A lot of times they're real nice markers. And that's what we have here, like up, target 1, back down for target 2, type 2. And that's where you saw a major shift, Ethereum to Bitcoin, for a few days. And again, look at the big patterns. All giving you sizable target 1 reactions, which I think are very manageable against the Bitcoin pairs or any other pair. You can do this against all of them. So last one I didn't mention, here's Cardano, folks. There are a few that I'm looking at as serious markers, if you will. Here's Cardano. Okay, major support down at 118 that it's trying to hold. It's more about the daily. Remember this? 886, we drew out this bat pattern. It bothers me that it's not automatically generated. It's not the nicest of structures, and I've said that before. It's like that and like that. But that fails, and if we can't get out of this hole, let's say you get a close under 119 and continuation, go to the larger time frame. That's, you for Cardano and others, that this is it. There's your whole larger trend will break down with something like that not responding. And God knows we've seen this so many times, 30 days or more sideways and then fail. So use that ruler. Go off of that point there, and then just 30 bars is already here. That's amazing. 30 bars is right here today off of that reaction. So listen, I'll be back on Monday. I've got a couple of things going on here at my local scene, but I appreciate everyone being just so appreciative. And again, your comments are welcome always, especially when they're constructive, and your criticisms are welcome too, because I'm always looking to improve what I do every day. I hope you can do that as well. So for today, that's it. We'll be back Monday It's probably going to be 12 noon because that just is how everything has been going lately. So around 12 noon, look at your watch, check your notification for YouTube. We'll be there. We'll see how it goes, folks. If anything, it needs more time. Until then, catch you Monday. Have a great weekend. And as always, go get 'em.